Well, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm okay.
You know, I'm excited.
Why?
It's midweek.
Yeah.
We
have
love
like 3 more
Wednesdays.
days. I was born on a Wednesday, so it's extra special
good
to
for
me.
you. I am a Tuesday boy.
Yeah,
but I love Wednesdays because at least you know how the week had started.
Yeah.
And then you have a fair idea of how you want to finish it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's 2 days away from Friday, and everybody's excited when it's Friday.
Anyways, good morning to you out there. We're grateful that you joined us. This is Breakfast Daily on City TV. My name is Tuffour Boateng.
And I am Dziffa, Ametam. Thank you so much for spending your Wednesday morning with us. We have 3 more days to go, and we will officially be in November.
Yep.
So this is the last Wednesday of
October. Yeah.
Wow.
Time flies, huh?
It does. It's still pink month. If you have not yet examined your breast, please go and get it checked out. There's absolutely no reason why we should be dying from breast cancer in this generation. And don't forget that early detection is key.
Yeah, very, very important. And on that note, we're going to bring you the quote of the day.
And as we're waiting, perfect.
Okay, so this is from Ralph Waldo Emerson, and it says, beauty without expression tires. Beauty without expression tires. I'm trying to... I'll try to take this out of context and put it in my own understanding. But beauty without expression tires. Well, obviously, I mean, you could be beautiful, but if you don't wear a smile always, I mean...
Yeah, and I think confidence is the best form of expression, because there are some people, they are not entirely the prettiest in the room, but you see them and you're like, they're like a magnet. And you're like, what is it about this person that just shines?
Exactly.
And it's just because they are able to express themselves. They are not suffering from low self-esteem. They are not trying to hide in the corner. They are just happy. You know, I mean, and that itself is beautiful.
I think it goes deep, because if you're beautiful and then you have the confidence enough to express yourself, then it's more like a source of attraction. To attract people to you. People want to know how you do it. People want to learn from you. People will just want to be around you, because then, of course, your joy or your confidence is going to beam off and spread.
Hopefully, it don't affect them as well.
So, yeah, indeed, beauty has to go with some level of expression.
Now, today is a special day because the finance minister is going to be presenting first quarter 2021 budget. And I remember around this time last year when he presented the 2020 budget, he said this year was going to be the year of roads. You know, I'm passionate about the fisheries sector. So when I heard that we're going to put an end to cycle, I was relieved, because we lose so much money to cycle. But I have a report on this. I'm not going to give it all away. Take a look at that report and then continue the conversation. Almost 30 years. Local fishers have been advocating for an end to cycle, the illegal act of foreign industrial trawlers profiting off local artisanal fishermen by catching fishes meant to be caught by local fishermen and selling back to them. Kwesi is one of the fishers whose livelihoods are threatened by cycle.
First, so do August time, sir. Oh, yanam August pa no yesu cocoa market. Yanam yetime ba band them yetime share adaga be 50 30 20 oh say yanya kwa yetime share be 15 adi, but say adi August obe ebusapo a wo ye ma oh wape eba mo da ye omo na adi festivals omo anya bi nyama bi a osma mo mu ko bi omo anya bi dem trawler spoon odo dem time na omo net ba out.
Cycle does not only prevent local fishers from their livelihood, it robs Ghana of millions of dollars. According to the Environmental Justice Foundation, Ghana lost more than $50 million worth of fish to cycle in 2017. Akua is a member of the Ghana National Canoe Fishermen Council. He shares the expectations of the fishermen after the finance minister's 2020 budget presentation.
Many were the things that government said in the 2020 budget that did not materialize. For instance, government said that there's going to be the canoe ID card, which will enhance the distribution of premise fuel. Now, this was launched in 2019 December, and as we speak, we have not fully implemented that. Then it means the purpose for which the ID cards were launched has not been realized. Again, government said in the 2020 budget that co-management structures will be established in at least 10 communities. That has also not been done. In the 2020 budget, again, government talked about the fact that the almighty cycle will be stopped. That also did not materialize.
Though the local artisanal fishermen are disappointed in government's inability to put an end to cycle, they have not lost hope. The program's manager at Friends of the Nation, a non-governmental organization that advocates for local fishermen, Kwejo Che Yamwa, outlines the expectations of the 2021 first quarter budget.
We are expecting that in 2021, we will see rigorous impact and effort by government to address illegal fishing. We also realize that day in and day out, there is disproportionate allocation of resources. For instance, in the 2020 budget and previous budget, we've seen huge monies being allocated for premix subsidies. But the premix is for fishermen to go to sea and get the fish, but the fisheries resources itself is not there. So we are hoping that in the 2021 budget, we will see a reverse of this, that there will be more resources allocated to fisheries management plan.
Almost 1 year since the finance minister presented the 2020 budget, very little has been done to put an end to cycle. They hope that the 2021 budget cycle would be tackled seriously and government will put an end to this illegality. For City Business News, I am Dziffa, Ametam.
That was your report. It's a beautiful one. I'm very emphatic. I mean, they were bold about what they wanted. Yeah. But then other associations have also been speaking ahead of the budget. The Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, I mean, they are the business people in the country. And so they would also be expecting some policies in there that would directly affect their business, say taxes and all that. So yeah, they have also been speaking. Let's take a look at this clip.
If you have to ask me 3 things that the business community needs, I would say access to affordable credit, access to affordable credit, and access to affordable credit, and nothing else. That's what is worrying most of us. Now it has become difficult for us to access credit from our foreign counterparts because of the COVID, and they are also challenged and handicapped to transfer some of their credits to us. Now we have to look from within and then get this credit. And if you know the rates here, then you know that it's astronomically high compared to the other parts of the world. And this is the area that I want the government to look at, to find any means to make sure that the interest rates have.
So that's GUTA. Now, one group that has really been affected by the coronavirus period has been the hoteliers, and we want to hear what they have to say of their expectations of the 2021 first quarter budget. Let's take a look.
The tourism industry is one of the hard hit by the emergence of the COVID-19 pandemic. It is believed to have lost millions of dollars since the virus struck, leading to significant job losses after the closure of a number of businesses.
They talked about the unemployment insurance scheme. And it's of interest to us because I'm sure aware that a lot of our members or let me say the workers of hotels, a lot of them lost their jobs during the heat of the pandemic. So when he mentioned it in the media review, it was welcome news. But what we haven't seen is the exact nature of the implementation. So we'd want to see it in the 2021 budget.
The association also hopes government will pay special attention to the sector in its support to businesses on the path of recovery.
Unfortunately, the MBSSI 600 million did not serve the purpose for the hotel, and I'm sure a lot of the
small and medium scale operators have not or will not receive significant disbursement from that fund. It looks like the NBSSI fund was more for the micro scale enterprises. Okay, so we want a situation where government will allocate some money which these medium and small scale enterprises like the hotels will be able to access. I mean, if you give 5,000 or even 10,000 to a hotel,
Right, so that was the Hoteliers Association there on the expectations from the advanced budget that is expected to be presented by the Finance Minister later in Parliament. Now, we're also expecting that issues on petroleum, oil revenues, or oil expenditure will dominate this particular budget. And one group that has also been speaking with respect to the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC. Let's take a listen to its Executive Secretary, Duncan Akua.
As the Minister of Finance prepares to read the budget later this week, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC, says it expects to hear government's plans to end fuel smuggling into the country. Even though government has made some efforts to address the problem, the Chamber says the problem persists, causing the country to lose revenue. Speaking to City Business News, Executive Secretary of COPEC, Duncan Akua, says it is imperative that government addresses this challenge in order to improve its revenue generation.
We have, over the period, discussed the issue of fuel smuggling. It remains one of the headaches for most people downstream, because not only is government losing revenue, but the people are also challenged, because oftentimes the fuel that is smuggled into the system do not go the approved channels for quality and quantity checks, Q&Q checks. And so we are getting bad fuel, but we are paying as much as we would probably be paying to the state if we were buying regular fuel. And then the state doesn't get the needed revenue. Then in the end, because the state is also not getting the needed revenue, the state piles on additional taxes to those already paying taxes. We are saying that the 2021 first quarter budget should have a clear plan on how to curtail the fuel smuggling syndicate and ensure that not only are a few getting rich at the expense of all of us, but the state is also deriving maximum revenue from petroleum sales within and across the country. Once that is done, it will be difficult for government to look at introducing or increasing the existing taxes. We think that the fuel smuggling syndicate must be halted forthwith immediately.
Meanwhile, some Ghanaians share their thoughts on areas of the budget they expect to be highlighted.
I think the health sector, because most of the governments, when they do come, they do say that they've done this, they've built this hospital and that. But during this COVID-19 pandemic, we've seen that there are a lot of gaps in the health sector. So I think they should put much effort in the health sector.
Well, I expect them to do good roads. And with our water issue at Dansoman, I feel they need to do some improvement on that. I think apart from that, I want a peaceful election as well. I think people are jobless, so the government really needs to concentrate on that. I mean, get some source of revenue for people so people don't go about begging.
So yeah, Ghanaians also sharing their expectations.
Exactly.
What do you make of what
the issues of fuel prices going up or coming down affects everything and everyone. So I want to agree that everyone should have an expectation or an opinion on the budget when it comes to the petroleum sector. If fuel goes up, it affects transportation. If the cost of transport goes high, it affects the prices of food on the market. And so yes, it's one important sector there. But this particular budget is part of a mandated practice usually conducted during election years. It covers at least the first 3 months of the year after the election, so it doesn't throw the central government of their expenditure and their budget, at least for the first 3 months. And so this particular one, we understand, is dubbed the expenditure in advance of appropriation. And the finance minister is expected in Parliament later today to present that budget. We're hoping that the COVID-19 will feature prominently in there, because you recall that some emergency expenditures went on during this particular period. Now there was the free electricity for a period, there's the free water
as well.
All that should feature in there, so that we know at least how much government has spent so far, if they intend to extend it, how much they are budgeting for it, and then what the implications thereof will be for the first 3 months of 2021.
Right, so that too would be revenue. You know, so if we are spending so much and we're still not meeting our revenue targets, what are we going to do in 2021 that we didn't do in 2020?
Exactly.
We know a lot of people lost their jobs in 2020. A lot of industries suffered as a result of coronavirus. A lot of restaurants are now closed. A lot of hotels are struggling. Every single sector of the economy felt the pandemic. So what kind of perhaps subsidies can government give to local manufacturers so that if somebody's importing something in, their prices are not lower than what's being produced? But we also know that our mothers who are into imports and our fathers will complain that you are killing our businesses. So it's a very thin line to walk. But Finance Minister, I'm sure, would bring us everything we need to know so that we are well prepared for 2021. Now it's time to take a look at news making rounds across the country with News Roundup.
Welcome to News Roundup on City TV. From the Ashanti region, I am Fati Amini Ibrahim. Coming up, a Kumasi Circuit Court has remanded into police custody an NDC activist who was arrested in a swoop at Asawasi constituency on Saturday evening. The suspect, Audu Sule, was part of 10 NDC activists who were arrested at Abuabo in the Asawasi constituency of the Ashanti region. The NDC activists, together with 2 other suspects, have been charged with conspiracy to commit robbery and robbery. 9 of the NDC activists who were picked up by police in the Asawasi constituency were granted bail after some supporters and executives of the party besieged the police headquarters on Sunday. Audu Sule, also known as Scorpion, was held by the police as part of their investigations. 2 other suspects, Taufik Mohammed and Michael Atuguba, together with Audu Sule, were brought to the Kumasi Circuit Court 4 by police on Tuesday. Member of Parliament for Asawasi, Alhaji Mohammed Mubarak, together with some executives, were in court to solidarize with the suspect. The court, presided over by Her Honor Jacqueline Avotre, remanded the suspect to reappear on 11th November 2020. Finally, some 51 members of the New Patriotic Party in the Subin constituency of the Ashanti region have withdrawn a contempt suit against the Ashanti Regional MPP chairman and the Member of Parliament after an out-of-court settlement was reached. The MPP members filed a contempt suit against the Electoral Commission and the party's regional executives for going ahead to conduct parliamentary primary to elect a candidate despite a court injunction. Both the complainant and defendant in the matter have now agreed to settle the matter out of court. After months of court proceedings, the court, presided over by Justice Senior Amedahe, ruled on the matter after both parties in the case agreed on an out-of-court settlement. Following the settlement, MP for Subin Eugene Boache Entry called on party members in the constituency to put their differences behind and work hard to enable the MPP to retain power in the December polls. The regional chairman, the MP, and the aggrieved members were all in court to witness the pronouncement by the judge. That's all for News Roundup from the Ashanti region. My name is Fati Amini Ibrahim. Many thanks for watching.
This is News Roundup from the Bono region. I am Michael Sapon Infum. An independent parliamentary candidate in the Sunyani West constituency of the Bono region, Bernardo Duotechi, who is physically challenged, says he is unmoved by attacks on his person by some political foes. Bernardo Duotechi is one of the agitated members of the governing New Patriotic Party who broke ranks to contest as an independent candidate. He was disqualified from contesting in the primaries against the employment minister and incumbent MP Ignatius Bafwewa. Speaking at the launch of his campaign at Fiapre, Bernardo Techi said he is optimistic of victory in the December polls. He said the 2020 parliamentary election in the Sudan West constituency is about who is capable of transforming the constituency and not about one's physical challenge. In another development, the Bono Regional Commander of the Ghana National Fire Service, DCFO Harold Boateng, has bemoaned the increasing number of prank calls to her outfit. The practice, she says, is affecting the response time of the fire service when real situations occur. The CFO Harold Boateng has therefore admonished residents in the Bono region to immediately put an end to the act. Finally, the service in the Bono region is equally worried about road users ignore their blaring sirens. Alfred Kwabna Amwa, the Bono Regional Administrator of the service, says the situation hinders their quest to attend emergency situations on time. He has therefore cautioned residents to desist from the attitude of ignoring sirens of their ambulances. This ends News Roundup from the Bono region. I am Michael Sapon-Infum.
Hello, good morning and welcome to the News Roundup from the Upper East region. My name is Frederick Auni. The Second Lady, Samira Bawumia, has urged the people of the Upper East region to vote massively for the new Patriotic Party in the December 7th polls to enable the party to continue with its agenda to develop the region. She indicted the Mahama-led administration for neglecting the needs of the region. Mrs. Bawumia therefore asked electorates not to vote for the NDC since they do not have any coordinated development plan for the region. Addressing party supporters at Sandema in the Bulsa North District during a 4-day tour of the Upper East region, Samira Bawumia recounted the NPP's development-oriented programs and policies that has positively affected the livelihoods of Ghanaians. She charged voters in the region to be in power to do more for Ghanaians. The Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana has threatened to embark on a series of demonstrations in the coming weeks to press home their demand for the government to facilitate a ready market for their rice produce in the rice valleys at Fumbisi, Badalambisi, and Yakba in the Upper East and Northeast regions. According to the association, though government subsidized seeds and fertilizer has led to increase in rice production this year, lack of ready market for their produce could lead to post-harvest losses and waste of their investment. Speaking at Yakba after fixing a price of 1 cedi 50 pesos per kilo of rice, head of programs and advocacy of the association, Charles Inyaba, warned that government risks incurring the wrath of rice farmers in the valleys on December 7th if nothing urgent is done to get buyers for their rice, which is going bad on the fields. And finally, the Upper East Regional Secretariat of the Nation Builders Cause, NAPCO, has donated food items to the Mama Ladi Orphanage in Bogatanga to cater for vulnerable children in the home. According to the Secretariat, the initiative forms part of activities to celebrate the 2nd anniversary of NAPCO. Speaking during the presentation, Upper East Regional Coordinator of NAPCO, Khan Jambedu Wunison, said the donation to the orphanage was to improve the lives of less privileged and destitute children. For her part, Mama Ladi Awuni commended NAPCO for their timely intervention and appealed to philanthropists and non-governmental organizations to emulate same to help the home cater for vulnerable children. And that ends the news roundup from the Upper East region. My name is Frederick Awuni.
All right, so those were some stories coming in from the Ashanti, the Bono and Upper East regions on News Roundup here on Breakfast Daily. Yeah,
it's important.
Very important.
Especially now, we're just how many days? Just a few days away from December 7th, and we all need to stay informed.
Exactly.
Speaking of staying informed, Voter's Diary is that show that you want to tune into 1 p.m. on 97.3 City FM and 3 p.m. on CCTV. So you have all the knowledge you need to make an informed decision come December 7th. This year, we're not going to vote on personalities. We're not going to vote on rhetoric. We're going to vote on policies, because policies are what will transform our lives and make this country better for the next generation.
Yes, indeed. I know CCTV is the election bureau, and so we've put together a number of programs to inform the electorate to help them make that decision on December 7th. And so we have another program that airs at 12 noon, and that is the constituency. That's where we get to go into the constituency and bring you the issues from there. So watch out for it. You never know. You see a CCTV camera in your constituency one of these days. We'll come and then we'll package everything. And then, of course, we air it for the rest of the country to know the issues that will inform decisions come December 7. The constituency is hosted by Frima Edunyame, and it airs Mondays to Thursdays at 12 p.m. here on CCTV.
And I love the constituency because it helps policymakers also understand that they may have an illusion that, okay, these people, they just want T-shirts and rice. But once you watch the constituency, you see that they actually have proper issues that they want you to solve. And if you don't solve them, you may not get that vote.
Exactly. A friend once said that you sit in Accra and campaign based on what's happening in Accra. And so we're hoping that the constituency will paint the real picture of what's happening in the various constituencies. And well, it's two-edged. I mean, it informs the policymakers and also informs the electorate. So you get to know the issues that really do matter within the various constituencies.
Yes. Speaking of informing the electorate, we also have Hello, Mr. President for you. Is that show that takes the camera into your community and allow you tell us whatever problems, issues you have within your community. All you need to do is just take out your phone and record an up to 1 minute video. Send that video to us via the email hellomrpresidenttv@gmail.com. You can also WhatsApp it to us. Our WhatsApp line is 0550585832. And every Wednesday at 9:30, we'll show those videos and call on to those policymakers who are failing you.
Well, that's right. We're here to serve, and so we'll help you get your challenges up there. Perhaps you have an issue with roads in your community. You have an issue with inadequate health facilities. It could be poor infrastructure, be it education, be it health, whatever it is you may not have the opportunity to send it up there to the powers that be. And so send them to us via email, hellomrpresidenttv@gmail.com, or via our WhatsApp number 0550585832, and we'll be sure to air it and get some level of response to these challenges.
Yep, but it's a Wednesday.
It is.
So Philip Kofi Ashong will be with us. What will we be discussing?
We're still in October, so we're still discussing breast cancer. And Philip will be bringing you some applications that give you information on breast cancer.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
And of course, later on, we have Hello, Mr. President for you as well. So we'll go through some of the videos we've received. But today is a very special lady's birthday. I don't plan on buying lunch today. I don't plan on buying dinner. All of you guys who have been enjoying her program on 97.3 City FM, you need to come send her all your gifts, okay? We're in Kokomlemle right behind the police station. AJ Akua Kusafo, happy birthday, darling. We love you so, so much.
The radio princess, the radio princess.
Did I say Adabraka?
We're in Adabraka.
I'm thinking about the cakes and I'm like, forget it.
We're in Adabraka, just behind the police station. So send in the love for the radio princess, Akua Sapong. But she will also be on air from 10 to 12 with Brunch in the City. Yeah. All right, let's go for a break. When we come back, news reviewers next. Remember, the show is interactive, so use the hashtag Breakfast Daily and the WhatsApp number
0550-585832. We will be right back.
There is no promise we cannot keep. There is no commitment we cannot honor. There is no delivery we cannot guarantee. There is only one Bethel Logistics Company Limited, a licensed international freight forwarding and clearing agent, a trusted global brand with an extensive network for the movement of air freight and ocean freight worldwide. We are the trusted name for road freight into Western and Northern Africa. We are fully accredited by Ghana Customs and Excise. We cater for all your freight forwarding, customs clearing and forwarding, cross trades, inland transportation, internal cargo tracking systems, customer freight costing and consultancy, cold chain logistics management, logistics and warehousing, quality inspection, and much more. In Accra, Tema, and Takrady, we are always available to ensure easy movement of cargo countrywide. Call us on 0204-528-900 or 0244-707-859. Email info@bethellogistics.com. Locate us in Accra at North Ridge, adjacent Accra Girls High School, or in Tema at Community 4, or in Takrady on the second floor of the GCB building. Website BethelLogistics.com. BethLOG, experts in shipping logistics.
Hi, my name is Salamatu. Yes, these are both me. You see, before free SHS, my life could have taken two very different paths. The SHS path depended on how much money my parents had, what sacrifices they were willing to make, and whether they would send me or my little brother Issa to SHS. The other part is what would have become of me if there was no free SHS. But today, thanks to free SHS, my future is bright and promising.
Congratulations, you have a name. He's a boy.
Instead of depending on others, I will feed and help my family. Free SHS is where my dreams for a better future and the dreams of thousands of young girls become a reality. Don't let NDC take it away from us. Vote for NPP and give all Ghanaian girls a chance for a better future.
Welcome back. It's the Breakfast Daily on City TV. This is the news review segment. We'll take a look at our newspapers, then we'll take a look at some online stories, and then we'll introduce our guests who are already seated. Let's start off with the Daily Graphic. On the front page of the Daily Graphic, we have "I'll create sustainable jobs for youth." That's coming from John Dramani Mahama, and that story is on page 16. Ghana not declared highly indebted poor country. That's coming from the Information Minister, Kojo Opong Kroma. IMF corroborates, and that story is on page 3. Ashanti Regional Spotlight to be launched in Kumasi tomorrow. That story is on page 41. I won't go beyond 25 ministers, Alfred Kwame Walker, and that story is on page 16. We'll now take a look at the Ghanaian Times. On the front page of the Ghanaian Times, we have Zongo Development Minister hands over Chebi AstroTurf, and that story is on page 11. President inspects work on Obichebi Lamte interchange. That story is on page 12. 9 CSOs go to court over Domolevo. Story on page 13. GJA SIC set up 20 million Ghana cedis insurance cover for 500 journalists. That story is on page 24. And finally, Be Peace Ambassadors. Religious leaders appeal to Ghanaians in the run-up to December 7th polls. And that story is on page 13 of the Ghanaian Times. We'll now take a look at the New Crusading Guide. On the front page of the New Crusading Guide, we have President condemns Odododio rioters, says violence shouldn't be an option. Story on pages 3 and 10. Your determination to stand on your feet is laudable. President Akua to STC. Unprecedented transformation ongoing in our regions. That's coming from the ministers, and we heard from them yesterday from 10 to 12. It was right after Breakfast Daily. We'll now take a look at our final newspaper. I'm talking about The Custodian. On the front page of The Custodian, we have Ghana not back to HIPC. Information Minister Kojo Ponkroma says, and that story is on page 3. Try NPP after 28 years with NDC. Bawumia urges Afram Plains, and that story is on page 2. Boost for public transport as Akufo-Addo presents 100 buses to STC. That story is on page 3 of The Custodian. We'll now take a look at some online stories. We're going to start with citynewsroom.com. On citynewsroom.com, we have acquisition of Airtel Tigo in advanced stages. That's coming from the government. Finance Minister to present budget for first quarter of 2021 today. NDC's claims that Ghana has HIPC features baseless. It's coming from an economist there. We'll take a look at that story shortly as well. Mokhtari Bawa defends Mahama's promise to free jailed small-scale miners. So that's she was on face-to-face last night with Umaru Sanda Amadou. Tuffour sues Kennedy Japan over claims he's involved in assassination plot. We'll now take a look at some business news from citybusinessnews.com, your most comprehensive platform for all business news. We don't expect tax hikes or new taxes in 2021 Q1 budget. That's coming from the GNCCI. Address fuel smuggling in budget presentation, COPEC to government. Government of Ghana to acquire 100% shares in Airtel Tigo. IMF refutes deceptive HIPC reports about Ghana. Road contractors give government 14-day ultimatum to pay arrears. For all of your news, you can go to citynewsroom.com, and for all of your business news, you can go to citybusinessnews.com. The finance minister will be presenting the budget to the nation, so it is very important for all of us to at least try to read through the summary of the 2020 budget, see what he said, what we were able to do, what we were not able to do, and the expectations of the different leaders in the different sectors of the economy, because we do have to move the nation forward come 2021. And City Business News is that portal for you to find all the information that you need so that you will know exactly what's happening when the finance minister presents Q1 of 2021 today. Now, Sanita is from, we want to hear from you. If you're on Facebook, just comment down below. If you're on other social media platforms, the hashtag to use to join the conversation is Breakfast Daily. And if you are on WhatsApp, our WhatsApp line is 0550585832. If you're outside Ghana, you can still contribute to the conversation. Just use the country code +233. I have with me Fatih Abubakar, who is Deputy Director of Communications at the Office of the President. Good morning, Fatih.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having
us.
And
I see you have your colors on. I also have with me Zita Benson, who's the former ambassador to Czech Republic, as well as former information minister. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
It's your first time here, huh?
Yes.
How is it so far?
Oh, so far so good.
Okay, let's take a look at our first story. I'm going to read from the New Crusading Guide, and it has to do with what happened in Ododo over the weekend. It says, President condemns Ododo rioters, says violence shouldn't be an option. So on page 3 of the New Crusading Guide, you can find that story by Frank Amponsa. President Akua, while condemning the recent clash that ensued between some members of the governing New Patriotic Party and the opposition National Democratic Congress, has appealed to Ghanaians to not make violence an option in an electoral process meant to afford electorates an opportunity to make a choice. I'm going to quote what the president said. We want peace in Accra in the upcoming elections. We should allow everyone to go. Everyone who does that should be ignored and condemned. Elections are just a contest of ideas, and we don't need violence to be able to do that. So, Fatty, I'll start with you on this. What do you make of what happened over the weekend and all the different sides of the story that have come up? And, of course, what the president is saying as well, that we should stay away from violence and focus on ideas.
Thank you, Dziffa. Let me use this opportunity to say good morning to my sister, Zita. This is the first time we've met on your set, and to your cherished viewers. I believe as political parties, and on my personal behalf, we need to all condemn what happened in Ododo, because we as political parties believe the polls should be about your policies. It should be about campaigning on your record and advocating for people to go out there and vote based on those records. So all the campaign should be towards dialogue and non-violence. So that is why I condemn what happened over the weekend in no uncertain terms. And you would also realize that there are some other places like Nima where over the weekend both the NPP and NDC did their health works together. And it's beautiful. And there is even a social media challenge about we would rather, we are family, we are together, and politics is not war. Because we as political parties are the biggest beneficiaries of peace, because we know our precedent as a country, we know where we've come from. But with specific reference to what happened at Ododo, I think the security agencies should be up and doing. Because on Saturday, the NPP had their health walk and there was no violence whatsoever. The health walk even had a more massive turnout, but it was a peaceful walk through the streets of Ododo and nothing happened. Then the NDC had the, and they are so over the weekend in Swami, in Kumasi, some NDC protesters attacked the Swami police station.
Well, some of their members were picked up.
Yes, because some of their members were picked up. I believe even when there are allegations, we know that we have the competent courts of jurisdiction. We can get lawyers as parties. We have legal advisors and legal teams who can use other alternatives to get redress for our members and not to resort whatsoever. And I also encourage the New Patriotic Party members to exercise restraints at all times and to know that beyond politics, we are human beings first, we are family, and we will not use this opportunity once in 4 years to hurt anyone.
Thank you.
So I condemn what happened.
Thank you very much. Zita, you guys were on your health walk and all this.
Yes, thank you, Dziffa. I was there personally.
Okay.
I saw how it all started.
Okay.
And I expected all the media houses to at least have contacted some of us to find out what we saw.
Okay, so you can share it with us.
They took the videos of what they saw after to say that NDC attacked. There wasn't NDC that attacked. I had a Guinness bottle thrown at me on my foot. Yeah, I had splinters in my leg on Saturday. So when we got home, I had to take it out. So we had finished the walk. We had gone through the whole of Accra, through Mokola, and we were almost at the end of our walk, and we got to where their offices, the MPP offices, and they stopped the walk because they said the MPP candidates, his wife is what? NDC. So she wanted to greet Nilante. So that's how come we even stopped. So they grabbed next to Nilante. So they grabbed Nilante to go and hug the lady. At that time, the reason why I don't have a video is because it was raining. So if you look at the videos that are circulating, when the attack started, it wasn't raining. When the attack took place, it was raining. So I had my phone inside my dress. That's why I did not take a video of that thing. So Nilante went to hug the lady. That is Bannerman's wife, because she's NDC, which is beautiful. The husband is MPP, the wife is NDC, very beautiful, you know, so we should be able to live in harmony. So after that, all I saw was Guinness bottles. We were ambushed, you see, and like my sister Fatih said, they had theirs last week. Nobody attacked them. NDC did not attack them. So they should have allowed us to also complete. We were about 5 minutes to the end of our, you know, maybe 5 minutes drive, maybe 30 minutes to the end of, because we're going back to Opera Square. That's where we started from. So by the time I could say Jack, somebody had thrown a bottle, I think it was meant for Nilante, but it hit me. It hit me on the foot. So that's when one of the guys grabbed me, let's go, and grabbed me and put me under his arm, and took me away. I was there with my mom and my sister. And then we went to wait. But by the time Nilante finally got to us, so now the issue was, I think they were trying to prevent Nilante from crossing in front of their office. So I heard Nilante's bodyguards telling him that, Ni, you have to cross. If you don't cross, then it means that they've overpowered you. So they covered Nilante, all the bodyguards came and covered Nilante, and then he crossed and missed the throwing of the bottles.
What would it take for us to go from, you know, showman, cross to show power to just, these are my ideas, really these are the policies I want to present to transform the lives of the people here so that we don't have to deal with violence? Yes,
it's really sad, and I want to put it on record that it wasn't NDC that started it. Because we were at the end of, why would we ruin our own walk?
The police reports actually said that there were some hoodlums who came in to disrupt the thing. They also didn't mention NPP in their report.
No, we didn't even want to report it. We wanted it to. But then when we got to Opera, as we were on the podium speaking, I was on the floor then. Then I heard the guys telling Nilante that somebody had been shot. So Nilante got worried. He got worried. So these things are really not, it doesn't augur well for us as a people. We are all one people. Fatih is a very beautiful lady. Apart from the fact that we belong to different parties, when we get down, we go downstairs. I'll be having a nice chat with her, you know, we would interact and all that. It doesn't make us enemies. So the grassroots must understand that these things do not augur well for us as a nation. But I don't blame them. Because if you take the case of Kaswa, for instance, where a sitting minister of state, what's her name? Hawa, you know, took hoodlums to go and disrupt.
Well, she was defending herself.
Yes, that's what she said. And in the plain sight of everyone, this is a sitting minister of state. She took hoodlums to go and disrupt a registration center. Motorbikes were bent. She shot, according to her, she shot it. But you know, people think that she's covering up for someone.
Well, she said it was self-defense.
So that, her that one, once she says,
but you experienced this firsthand. Did you have enough police protection?
There was one policeman who was unarmed. He did not have anything. He did not even have a baton or whatever they call it. He had nothing. He was just walking with us. And then afterwards, if you look at the video that came after, if you look at the video where the NDC guys got angry that they had attacked us and went back, the video Fatih saw is what happened after. Okay, so the NDC guys got angry and went to go and attack the office because they had attacked us first. So if you look at that video, you realize that there was a policeman who was running. The policeman was unarmed.
So what does this say about future walks like these? Because it's going to keep happening. Should we tighten up security protection for some of the political parties?
Absolutely. And the person who did the shooting is seen in the video. He's known. Okay. Has he been arrested? He has not been arrested.
Okay, I'm sure they're investigating.
Yes, he has not been arrested. He's seen in the video shooting into the air and shooting at people. But he's still walking around free. Why wouldn't he do the same thing on election day? This person should be arrested by now to serve as a deterrent to anyone who intends to do that on election day. Yeah. So yes, the president has said that we should shun away from violence. I totally agree, because I wouldn't want any family member of mine to be hurt or killed during this election. But then he should back it up with actions. Okay. See, saying it is not enough. You must back it up with actions.
What would you like to see him do?
For instance, have that, I don't care who that person is, whether it's NDC or an MPP, whoever did the shooting should be arrested, because he's seen on the video. That's evidence. That's evidence right there. But if the person walks around free, he's getting ready to do the same thing in December. So we want to see more action, not just words.
Okay, thank you. Fatty, how do we take some of these things from the top to the grassroots, getting people on the grassroots level to really understand that we are battling on ideas and we are family at the end of the day. We are all Ghanaian citizens at the end of the day.
Yeah, before that, let me put on record that the parliamentary candidate for Dodo for NPP, Nilante Banaman, has disputed the accounts given by Honorable Zita. And I believe we may have different accounts, but it still boils on the fact that the security agencies should be up and doing, and there should be a way to resolve these things without the political parties themselves taking it upon themselves to protect themselves or to fight each other. Yeah. I think it wouldn't work. But with I think the reference to Honorable Hawa Kumsen was out of place. Okay. Because we are women in politics and we know better. We know how tough the terrain can be sometimes. And imagine a member of parliament and a parliamentary candidate whose picture and name will be on a ballot paper being prevented from being an observer at a polling station in her own constituency. So when push comes to shove, we are all here. We would find a way to defend ourselves.
But shouldn't she have waited for her security people to handle it? That's why she's been assigned to one.
Waiting to be killed.
No, she went there, right?
Waiting to be hurt. Okay. I don't have security. I put myself out here. If someone meets me down there and the person wants to attack, I will look for the necessary thing to defend myself, and that will not be out of place. Okay. And most importantly, as political parties, it is our responsibility to educate and sensitize our members that we are confident in our record. I know what President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has done, and I believe come December 7th, the president will win convincingly with a wider margin than what we experienced in 2016. Okay. So it is therefore my responsibility, just like other spokespersons whom you have given your platforms to, for us to always advocate for dialogue, and let's campaign on our record and non-violence. Let's always let the people know that violence has no place in politics. It has no place in a democracy. We left that behind us in the 70s and 80s, and we are not going back to pick that up. And if there are hoodlums who will use the seizing and the political environment and the little tensions here and there because we are in a campaign period, to people would always encourage the security services to fish those individuals out and then treat them the way they deserve to be treated.
Okay, but what do you make of politicians who come on platforms like this, say all the great things, and then behind the scenes are the people instigating some of these things done by these hoodlums?
You call them out. It's a collective responsibility on all of us. And if someone uses your platform to also perpetrate that kind of language that is unhealthy, that is unwholesome, it's also a responsibility that you, the host or moderator, should take upon yourself to say that I want to offer my platform for this kind of conversation. But beyond what is here, if you have evidence that the person is doing what is contrary to what they've been preaching on air, you call them out.
Do you think such people should equally be prosecuted for instigating such actions?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Perfect. So we have another story connected to this that I'll read from citynewsroom.com. It says, Ododo Peace Council condemns NPP NDC clash, calls for speedy prosecution. So the National Peace Council has condemned last Sunday's clash between supporters of the National Patriotic Party and the National Democratic Congress at Jamestown in the Ododo constituency in Accra. Let me read what the Executive Secretary of NPC, Mr. George Amo, said to us on City News. We condemn what happened because we do not expect them to go this way. But we are human beings and sometimes things happen. But when they do, we do have to put in appropriate response. He said that NPC was in touch with the police for investigations to be conducted with dispatch so that whoever was at fault will be made to face the full rigors of the law. So beyond the talks, let me come to you, Zita. How do we get to the point where we actually prosecute people? Because there are individuals who are using the name of political parties to do these things, and sometimes you guys don't even approve of what they are doing. How do we fish them out and hold them to account?
That's why I said that it has to be leadership by example. Just talk is not enough. And you ask the question, how do we move from hypocritical talks where you come out and give flowery language that you expect people to like, and then behind the scenes much action or implementation is not undertaken? Okay, so we have to go beyond that. If we are able to prosecute our own party members, it will serve as a deterrent to others. That look, our leader does not like this kind of behavior, and if we mess up, our leader will stand by for the law to take its course. So we need to be firm. We need to be firm. We saw what happened in Ayawaso during the by-election. You know, the government set up the
image short commission.
Yes, exactly, and a white paper came out. No, it has become a white elephant that is sitting at the presidency. So I don't think that anyone has been prosecuted so far.
They gave their response to what the commission
so
came
we
out.
we need to start implementing some of these recommendations. Okay, we need to go beyond just talks. We have 40 days to elections, and a lot of people are afraid of what might happen. You know, for me, I would continue saying it. Let us love each other. Violence is not the key. We are all, you know, we intermarry, we are families, we are friends. It's not because of an election that you would see a friend die. It's very bad. And even if you look at it, there was another incident in Kumasi where the Delta forces went to attack a sitting judge.
Okay, but both parties have these guys who do bad things.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that people must be punished. I'm using that as an example. That talk is enough. People must be punished. And if it happens in my party, if any member of my party is caught doing that, beating up a female judge, you know, I would recommend that party member be locked up. Because that judge has worked hard to get to where she is. You, the hoodlum, achieved in life for you to go and beat up a judge.
But
going to law school is not.
But if I remember the Mr. Fosuampofo's tape,
but we've moved way past all these things.
Yes, we are only recommending that action must be taken.
We always have those examples, but because some of those cases are involved, we would rather refrain from talking about it.
So moving forward,
but moving forward, we have a responsibility, and I am committed to that. At least not to use any platform offered me to perpetrate or instigate violence in any shape or form, and not to encourage anybody or to abet any such act. And I think it's upon all of us to make sure the country is peaceful, because even if you win the election and the country is not peaceful, how do you govern? So we should all be actors and not just speakers.
Yes. But on the side of the security as well, do you think maybe they should be a bit more cautious? Because you see what happened in Kumasi, where some NDC members felt like you're coming for us, and the police is also saying that you are suspected, you know, criminals that we're arresting, especially in a political season. Should we handle some of these things with a little bit of sensitivity so it doesn't end up being like some people feel targeted?
You know, when it comes to the work of the security agencies, we all know due to their operations, there is this kind of principle, whether it's a convention or it's in some of their statutes, which I have not critically looked at, so I would rather err on the side of caution. There is this known principle in our heads that there should be non-interference. So even on the part of government, what you would rather do is to make sure the kind of funding they require, the kind of logistics they require are all delivered to them so that they will be able to do their work, which this government has done so well in terms of their movement, in terms of vehicles, and so on and so forth, even helicopters. But it still boils down to those aspects, and train people to handle some of these incidents and to pick up some intelligence to help with the work. Other than that, we can only ask that they do better.
Thank you very much, Fati. This is still Breakfast Daily on City TV. Thank you so much for staying with us. It is an interactive show, so if you're watching us on Facebook, you can comment down below. If you're on other social media platforms, the hashtag to use to join the conversation is Breakfast Daily. And if you want to reach us on WhatsApp, our WhatsApp line is 0550585832. If you're outside Ghana, the country code is +233. We'll be right back.
Close-up deep action with antibacterial mouthwash formula and deep cleaning gel. Close-up deep action. Enjoy long-lasting fresh breath.
Welcome back. It's still Breakfast Daily on City TV. Thank you so much for staying with us. It is an interactive show, so if you're watching us, we want to hear from you. So far, we've discussed what happened at Odododio over the weekend. The president is calling for peace, saying that we should exchange ideas, not blows, and we all need to make it out of this election alive and in one piece because we're a peaceful nation. Up next, we'll be looking at IMF. People are saying that Ghana is a highly indebted poor country. IMF has come out to say that that's not the case, but some people are still insisting. I still have with me Zita Benson, who's the former ambassador to Czech Republic, as well as Fatih Abubakar, Deputy Director of Communications at the Office of the President. It is an interactive show again, so just use the hashtag Breakfast Daily and the WhatsApp line to join us. I've received some of your messages, so I'll read them briefly and then we'll move on to our next topic. A.U. Farouk from Tamale North says, good morning, Dziffa. The violence that occurred in Odododio at Jamestown must be condemned by all. But the NPP must hold their breath. We don't want any violence this coming elections. The president should rather call his party supporters to order. Ibra Koch from Ireland says, good morning, Dziffa. The president's condemnation is as expected, but the perpetrators must be brought to books no matter what is their political colors. The person seen shooting gun should be in police custody by now. So we'll now take a look at our next story. It has to do with whether we are a highly indebted poor country or not. And I'll take this story from the Ghanaian Times. So on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, we have Ghana not declared HIPIC upon Nkrumah. The Minister of Information, Mr. Kojo Nkrumah, has urged Ghanaians to disregard claims being paddled around in certain circles that Ghana has been declared a highly indebted poor country. I'm going to quote what he said. Categorically, we say that it is not true that Ghana has been declared a highly indebted poor country or has been added to the list of highly indebted poor countries. The fifth update, okay, let me continue on with some of the things that the Information Minister said. The publications out there on these websites list the countries that participated and qualified for it. Currently, there is no HIPIC program for any country to qualify for. So if anybody's spreading that and adding to this narrative that suggests that Ghana is now HIPIC and has been listed in an IMF World Bank publication as such, we want to encourage all Ghanaians to particularly the media houses to be circumspect that it is not true. Now, the IMF also spoke on this, so I'll bring the IMF's angle to this story as well, and I'm still reading from page 3 of the Daily Graphic. They say that regular updates are on the fund's website and must be interpreted as such. Any such interpretation that a country is flawed may be deceptive. So they say that currently Ghana's debt to GDP ratio has not triggered any decision or action by IMF to declare it a highly indebted poor country. So Fatih, let me start with you on this.
Yeah, Dziffa, you know, we in the New Patriotic Party had cause to organize a press conference to debunk the kind of fake news that the NDC used various platforms on social media to put out there to tarnish the image of this government and for people to overlook the kind of wonderful work that President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is doing. And this is one of the instances for it to come from a former president and a candidate and his followers to go out there to create the impression that Ghana is on HIPIC when they actually know that there is no ongoing HIPIC program. That is worrying for political purposes. Let me refer you to some instances. As of July 2020, the UK debt to GDP ratio was 105%. As at March 2020, the USA's debt to GDP ratio was 82%. And Japan, when they did the assessment in 2017, as at their debt to GDP ratio was 234.99%. These are countries that in terms of resources, in terms of wherewithal, in terms of capacity to even take care of their people and also to reach out to other developing countries or lower middle income countries like Ghana are unmatched. But our debt to GDP ratio, which stands around 68%, is nowhere close to that. And the reason being why it is necessary to sometimes leverage some resources to try and look for reasons to put in place certain infrastructure and certain measures which we may get the benefits now and even extend into the future. When IMF published the list, they were talking about the number of countries that had been on the HIPIC program from 1996. And we all know that from the year 2002 to July 2004, Ghana joined the HIPIC program. At the time Ghana joined the HIPIC program, our debt to GDP ratio was 182%. As compared to our current situation, we are nowhere close going for HIPIC, even if our debt to GDP ratio had reached that.
Okay, so let me read what a member of the Finance Committee of Parliament is also saying, John Jinapo. He says, Ghana is highly indebted. We don't need IMF to tell us. I'm going to quote him. Our current total revenue is about 53 billion Ghana cedis. We are spending 38 billion Ghana cedis of this amount to service our debt. That means that out of the revenue the country gets, we have to spend over 70%. Even when you express that as a tax revenue, it means that 90% of the revenue that the government collects from taxes is spent on servicing debt. So what would be your response to that? And then I'll allow Zita also.
You know what, the fact that he's on the committee doesn't make him a financial expert.
Okay.
If IMF has a position and they have come out that Ghana is not highly indebted, that is IMF.
Okay.
To think that I can sit here as Fatih and say the IMF is wrong based on political affiliation, it's neither here nor there.
No, he's on the Finance Committee in Parliament.
The fact that he is on the committee does not make him a financial expert.
Okay.
Not by training, not by experience, for which his expertise can be taken on a financial subject.
Okay.
So we strongly believe that if Ghana was that indebted, the record should have been there at the IMF, but which is not the situation. In any case, for the HIPIC program we have been on already, you cannot be on it again. And there is no ongoing HIPIC program. So why would the NDC lie?
Okay.
You know, so it is worrying, and I think for media houses you should also find a way to tell us in the face as politicians that if you are perpetrating some falsehood, we will not allow you to use our platform to do certain.
Thank you very much.
Ghana is not on any HIPIC program. Ghana is nowhere near any program if it exists. And for a country that they suppose is supposed to be highly indebted, it's a country that is able to afford free water for its citizens, to afford free SHS, and the kind of social interventions that were even unthinkable under this Fourth Republic. I believe we cannot just throw it under the carpet that, oh, because he's on a committee, he says, and we take
and the program is closed, so there's obviously we are not on it. Zita?
Yes, as at 2015, His Excellency Bawumia, he tweeted, at 67% of GDP, Ghana's debt stock has crossed the critical 60% of GDP level that developing countries with limited access to capital flow should worry about in terms of debt sustainability. In fact, Ghana is right back. This is 2015. As at Ghana's debt stock was 67%. On 22nd October, just maybe 5 days ago, today is 28. Okay, 22nd October, I see a news item on your, I won't mention the name because it's your, your competitor. Ghana's debt to GDP ratio to hit 76.7%. 2020 IMF. This same IMF that is denying it. Okay, what's the threshold for a country to be considered HIPIC?
Well, we can listen. We can actually hear from economists who are also saying that we are not where we actually need to be considered a HIPIC country. So I'll allow you.
I'm not an economist, so I'm not even going to go into figures because I'm not. I don't have that training. But the threshold for the IMF to consider you a highly indebted poor country is 60%.
Okay, according to Baumia.
No. According to the IMF,
the International Monetary Fund.
So and as of now, our debt stock, the GDP is 70%, and the IMF envisages it to get to 76.7 by the end of the year.
But if they have not declared us as such, why are we preempting them?
We didn't get up. It is not fake news.
Okay.
And the reason why I say it's not fake news is that if you go to imf.org, our name is there.
As what?
As
what is it?
List of countries that have qualified for or are eligible or potentially eligible and may wish to receive HIPIC initiative assistance.
Yes, but
as of February, as of February 2020.
Okay.
So if then the IMF, if they think that we haven't gotten there, they need to amend this.
Okay.
Because we did not get up to conjure, I'm not proud that we are going to go HIPIC. I'm Ghanaian. I'm patriotic.
Yeah.
See? So I would want the country to do well. But if I go on imf.org and I see this list of countries that qualified, have qualified or are eligible for the program, the thing, what you're saying is that we haven't
yes. Let me read from the IMF so that we're all on the same page. So this is coming from the resident representative of the IMF to Ghana, Dr. Albert Mama. He said that in an email, actually, he said, we have been made aware of social media reports stating that Ghana has recently been added to the list of highly indebted poor countries by the IMF. The HIPIC initiative is essentially closed for countries that have already reached the completion point. He goes on to say that they regularly update the fund's website and still Ghana has not been mentioned. There's an economist who's also speaking on this, Dr. Edu Owusu-Sarkodie, and he's challenged claims by the NDC that Ghana currently has features of a highly indebted poor country. And I'll give you the reasons why he's saying this. He says that debt to GDP ratio at the time that we applied for HIPIC was at 182%. As that now, it is at 68%. To be eligible for the HIPIC initiative, a country must be saddled with an unsustainable debt situation. Ghana took the decision to go to HIPIC, of course, under the Tuffour administration. So even the Honorable in Parliament admits that we are servicing our debt. John Dinapo admits that we are servicing our debt. So how can we now declare that the country is highly indebted if
That's
we're
why I'm
servicing our
telling
debt?
you that NDC did not conjure this.
Okay.
Just type in HIPIC countries and Ghana's name comes up.
Okay.
I would be happy if we are not HIPIC. So if the government is saying we are not HIPIC, all well and good.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
But then the IMF needs to amend it. Okay. So they shouldn't say it's the NDC that is conjuring fake news. It's not the NDC. Just Google HIPIC countries on all websites. Apart from the IMF website, they all come up and Ghana is there. This is a different website I went to, data.worldbank.org is there, imf.org is there. All the websites have it. So if the IMF country director is telling us that Ghana is not HIPIC, then they need to amend it.
Okay.
And not accuse the opposition of you know, churning out,
churning out
false news, because that's where we picked it from. We picked it up from their website.
Okay, thank you.
It is explainable that Ghana is on the list because Ghana
we've been there
between 2002 to 2004. But if IMF has come out to say that Ghana is not HIPIC, it means the NDC lied. Even after the clarification from the IMF, the NDC should have come out to say, okay, this is what we thought, we are sorry, that is not the position, let's move on. Then we can move to something else. But to insist that even after the IMF has come out that Ghana has not gone HIPIC, we have not put any such information out there. And the list we have has to do with the countries that have participated in the not admit that what they said or what they thought was the position earlier on was false, and therefore the NDC lied. I just can't.
But beyond MPP and NDC, what kind of, you know, signal is this sending to the world if we're saying that we're a highly indebted poor country, and then IMF is also saying that we are not? I'll allow you to take that.
Yes,
the implications it might have on the country beyond the political parties.
I will correct my sister once again. You know, like websites, and I have shown you different websites.
But the IMF has come out.
So yes, so they are, and I'm also telling the IMF that they need to do the necessary corrections, because we picked up the information from the from their website. And the
but was it a time frame?
Yes,
like
it says
maybe from
us at February 2020. No. I showed you. I showed you it said us at February 2020.
Okay.
So that's the date there. This is not my document. This is the document of the IMF. It's
pull out the IMF website, and then
if you go to imf.org, it's there.
Okay.
So, and the point is that this IMF has put up this information there. So you can't say the NDC lied. Okay. So if the IMF has come out to say that it's not true, we have seen our name as at February 2020. So what are they talking about?
Okay. Okay.
Do you understand?
My question was the signal, the sense to the world about the country, especially when we John Jinapor has admitted that we are actually servicing our debts.
Yes. So like I earlier said, I already said that as a Ghanaian, I'm not proud that we are HIPIC, if ever we are HIPIC, because it doesn't speak well of the country. It means we are a very poor country, and our name is on the list. So government must take steps to get our names off the 2020 list, because it doesn't speak well of us if it's not true.
Okay.
The fact that they have not subscribed to the program, we haven't subscribed to the HIPIC program, government hasn't done that. It's different from having your name as qualified for the program. Okay. They are two different things.
Okay. Any last words? So we'll move on to our final topic.
The NDC should, we always advocate that they should always be sure about certain information before they put it out.
Okay.
You cannot say that you pick any information from any online platform without even assessment, without even cross-checking from any source, and come out to say, hey, Ghanaians consume this, hook, line, and sinker. So we strongly believe that the NDC is not more of experts over the IMF when it comes to financial issues. And if the IMF says that Ghana is not going HIPIC and therefore the NDC lied impliedly, then we stick to that.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll take some of the comments that we've received from our viewers. Eja Adam says, HIPIC was an economic recovery initiative by the IMF for countries in debt distress, which Ghana became an inviable member after 19 years of the PNDC mismanagement. Today, John Mahama, who was a party to that legacy, has turned around to claim Ghana is once again a highly indebted poor country, which IMF has debunked, but the man is still holding on to his words. In a country's HIPIC status, is the country's HIPIC status determined by opposition leader, I won't mention what you said, or by critically analyzed economic facts and figures by the IMF? So that's a question that you're asking all of us. JM 2020 elections is about records. Is Nanado's achievement one? Okay, you're talking about health workers serve 181 projects. So all the 4 more for Nana projects that you've mentioned, we've seen this one. Good morning, Dziffa. There hasn't been any report whatsoever that Ghana is heading for HIPIC. It's only a propaganda of the NDC and John Dramani Mahama's cohort. The economy of Ghana is under Nana Akufo-Addo is resilient. Okay, Julius says JM never said IMF has declared Ghana HIPIC. What he said was that looking at the figures from IMF, he submits that Ghana has returned to HIPC and not IMF has declared Ghana HIPC. So what is the IMF denying? Is it an opinion he is expressing? Okay, it's an opinion he's expressing. One can disagree, but to say he said IMF has declared Ghana HIPC is a lie. So the NPP should stop exposing themselves on this issue. All right, this one is coming from Julius in Asawase. We have more of your messages that I'll try and read briefly, and then we'll take a look at our last story. Again, the hashtag to use is Breakfast Daily, and the WhatsApp line is 0550585832. Last story here, Ghanaian Times, 9 CSOs to go to court over Domolevo, and it's on page 13 of the Ghanaian Times. So page 13 of the Ghanaian Times says 9 civil society organizations have dragged the Attorney General to the Supreme Court in a move seeking to challenge President Akufo-Addo's decision directing the Auditor General Daniel Domolevo to proceed on leave. They are the Ghana Center for Democratic Development, Ghana Citizens, Ghana Movement, Africa Center for Energy Policy, Parliamentary Network Africa, Pen Plus Bites, Media Foundation for West Africa, Send Ghana, and One Ghana Movement. The CSOs are represented in court by renowned lawyer Martin Pebu of the GT Legal. They are asking the Apex Court to rule that the directive issued by the presidency asking Mr. Domolevo to proceed on leave is inconsistent with the letter and spirit of the Constitution. They also want the court to declare that the appointment or designation of Johnson Akomwa Esiedu as acting Auditor General is void and of no legal effect.
Dziffa, you know, let me give you a preamble to my submission on this one, which is Article 297A of the 1992 Constitution, and with your kind permission, I'll read that to your viewers. That the power to appoint a person to hold or to act in an office in the public service shall include the power to confirm appointments, to exercise disciplinary control over persons holding or acting in any such office, and to remove the persons from office. When Mr. Domolevo was appointed as Auditor General on 30th December 2016, his appointment was subject to some of these rules and regulations, as well as the Labour Act and also the Constitution. So, if the laws required that as Auditor General he was entitled to 44 working days leave, which per section 21 and 31 of the Labour Act, even the employer cannot say that he is not allowing to go on leave, neither the employee. And there is also the precedence of, on 9th April 2009, Professor John Evans Atta Mills of blessed memory, our former president, asked the former Auditor General, Mr. Edward Biagman, to proceed on a 264 working days leave. So, in the interest of legal principles and justice and rule of law, if the president, based on this precedence and on the side of the law, asks the Auditor General to go on leave, why should the Auditor General or the NDC construe that to mean anything, something else, and to make noise when they know the SY NDC government has such a precedence? And on top of that, because we don't have much time, I want to rather make all the important points for want of time. You remember there was a publication on Ghana Web on 18 June 2019, where the Auditor General mentioned that the problem with Africa is that there are institutions and leaders fail to fund it. And that for his office, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and this NPP government has given them 3 times the fund they required to work. And that the president gave them clearance to procure 34 vehicles, which in the history of the Auditor General's office, they have not even procured 10 before.
Let me give you what the CSO's lawyer, Martin Pebu, was saying. He sent a 90-page document, actually, in the suit, but they're saying that the Office of the Auditor General, described in the writ, is an independent constitutional office that is not subject to the control of the president in such a manner. So, with that being said, it seems as though the Auditor General's office should have been left alone, because according to them, it's an independent constitutional office. But let me allow Zita also come in here, and then I'll take your concluding statement.
Article 187 is what you just read. In the performance of his duty, he's not subject to the direction or control of any other person. And if you want to remove the Attorney General, sorry, the Auditor General, yeah. The Constitution is clear on it. Article 146.
Well, they're not removing him. They're just telling
yeah, but indirectly.
Okay.
Indirectly.
Really? Okay.
Indirectly.
Okay. So if you want to tell him to go on leave.
Okay. Yeah. If you want to not remove him for misconduct, I'm making a case. Will you allow me?
Go ahead. Please? Sorry. Go for it.
Article 146 is very clear. You can only remove him according to how you remove a judge.
Okay.
The same rules apply to the Auditor General and also to the Electoral Commissioner.
Okay.
So we've had precedents where the EC was hijacked out of office.
Okay.
And some of these precedents, we must be very careful.
But she was sent because of some procurement breaches.
Yes, but this man has not done anything.
Okay.
He's been asked to go on an illegal leave.
It's illegal?
It's illegal, illegal. The reason why I'm saying it's illegal is because the labor law is very clear on it. When you do not take your leave within a certain period, a certain year, you forfeit it. You are not entitled to days that will move on to take my leave for that. My employer does not owe me any leave if I decide to let it go and I don't take my leave.
But your employer can also say that you can take your leave
within that year.
Okay.
Within the labor law is very clear on it. Within that year, you forfeit the leave that you do not take.
Okay.
You can't get days back the next year. You can't get cash back the next year.
Okay.
So this 123 days leave that they've asked him to take is unlawful.
Okay.
It's unlawful, and now they are investigating him. They are investigating. They brought in a private auditor to come and investigate him. That's another.
Some travels
for
that
travels.
They did.
But that's another breach of the law. See, so they are circumventing everything that has to do with the Auditor General.
No, but the audit service will also come out to say that they are engaging these private people, and
no, they cannot engage. They cannot engage. They cannot engage a private. They cannot engage a private auditor without
the parliamentary approval.
So that is also unlawful. So they need to go to Parliament, and then the Parliament will set up a committee and appoint a private auditor to do it. But the acting auditor has on his own appointed a private person to investigate this matter. And how does travel affect Dumelovo? Foreign travels.
They said they've asked him to account for it, and he has not been doing it.
He doesn't buy his own tickets. It's that she knows, my sister knows, that if you work at such a agency or whatever, it is the PRO that purchases tickets and all. So Dumelovo doesn't get up to go and buy his own air ticket to travel.
Yes, but they are investigating.
Yes, they can investigate him, but they should do the lawful thing.
Okay, thank you very
much.
They
need to do the lawful thing.
Okay.
I want to make a correction. She said that the NDC is the one, making noise about it. It's not the NDC that has taken the AG to court. It's the CSOs that have taken the. I mean, she would want very happy that bring NDC in everything.
Okay.
But it's not the NDC. So I just want to make that correction.
Thank you very much, Fati.
Section 31 of the Labour Act 2003 states that any agreement to relinquish the entitlement to annual leave or to forego such leave is void. That is the law. And when Honorable Zita was a Minister of State, that was when Mr. Edward Ajiman was asked to proceed on his annual leave by Prof. Mills for 264 days. Nothing was wrong with that, to proceed on leave. How would you quote Article 146 when they are asking someone to proceed on leave? It is about removal from office. This has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with removal from office. Of course, if the CSOs would like to go by an application before the Supreme Court for some interpretation whatsoever, that is fine. They are entitled to it. But we are confident that the President acted in accordance with law. If you are given an appointment, it's subject to conditions of service and also to lay down procedures. And that is known to the NDC more than it is known to us, because they have a precedent of asking
a former Auditor General to proceed on leave, not for 123 days, but for 264 days. So if they can run away from that and make a U-turn and now challenge the same laws they relied on to ask the former Auditor General to go on leave and say that this is in breach of whatever, I'm saying that President Akufo-Addo's commitment to the audit service, to the Auditor General's department was touted by Mr. Domilevo himself, not at the
But he came out to write he wrote a letter after that to dispute
voluntarily that we have resourced him more than he would have ever thought of. And the fact that he's been asked to proceed on leave does not mean that the Auditor General's department is not operational. It's an institution, not a human being, and they are working.
But
they are the assemblies,
what do you say about the perception is created about our ability to fight corruption if we've asked the Auditor General to go on mandatory leave at this time?
Dziffa, there is this thing about a court of public opinion, which is to choose emotions over rationality or the law. You know, so you can go out there to the market. I can cry right here and someone will say that Dziffa hates me. Meanwhile, you've done nothing. But I'm saying that let it be based on what is on the face of the law.
Abubakar is Deputy Director of Communications at the Office of the President, and Zita Benson is former ambassador to Czech Republic as well as former Minister of Information. Thank you both so much for being with us. I hope you enjoy what's left of your week. Don't go anywhere. We'll be learning about breast cancer apps. I hope both of you have been examining your tatas. It's still breast cancer. Philip Kofi Ashaw will be helping us understand some apps that we can use to get through breast cancer. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Sunana Abdulrazak. Last week, I received a message from BethLOG. Come on, now win golden ticket. Nadan je saya ma Mercedes Benz na. Don ba ku yadda ba kuma gashi nan ga sunana kai. Bangaren gora kaman gaskiya ne. Mun na sun ce na gode BethLOG. Na gode ma kowa.
If you win, no one win like BethLOG. My baby, hold you low. If you win, no one win like BethLOG.
Hello Ghanaians, my name is Mrs. Kosi Yankee Aye. I am the Executive Director for the National Board for Small Scale Industries, NBSSI. Through the CABAS initiative, we have disbursed funds to over 100,000 beneficiaries across the nation. Several local businesses have seen the impact of our work, and we will continue to give more of them hope amidst this global pandemic era that has negatively impacted all of us.
MBSSI, a new era for SMEs.
As a passenger, you have a lot of power in avoiding car accidents. The National Road Safety Authority wants you to use your voice to save lives. Speak up if your driver is overspeeding, drink driving, overtaking wrongfully, or using their mobile phone. And if your driver is tired, please make them stop and rest. Road safety is a shared and collective responsibility, so let's look out for ourselves, protect each other, and arrive alive. Thank you.
Everyone needs you alive. Arrive alive.
That's kind of cynical. I mean, because I'm not sure that all that we have done have necessarily been to the benefit of middle class or wealthy people. So we will get to that.
Tune in to The Point of View this and every Monday and Wednesday at 9 p.m. as I, Bernard Avile, get the right guests, ask them relevant questions on issues that matter to you.
When MDB came, because they were not putting money in the sinking fund,
they were not putting money in the sinking fund.
Yes.
That's why this curve is going up.
The money was going to the sinking fund, but it was not being applied to debt.
I think that there's a lot of apocryphal conspiracy theories around. And it's not different from 5G causes coronavirus, COVID-19 and things like that. So there's been this long-term held belief that somehow there are some people that have planned that they will bus hundreds of thousands of people to come and change Ghanaian electoral outcome. There is no evidence for it. There is absolutely no evidence for it.
I am saying that we have very professional herbalists in this country whose capacity I know because I've tried it. But also there are quack ones within them. And the earlier we weed them out, the better for us.
Remember, The Point of View is live every Monday and Wednesday at 9 p.m. only on City TV.
The Point of View is powered by Airtel Tigo. Have you heard that Airtel Tigo calls from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. and Airtel Tigo money transfers are now free on new SIMs? Now you know. Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
Hello again, this is Breakfast Daily on City TV. It's now time to bring you some consumer technology information, and we're still in the month of October and it's the pink month. We're still doing some breast cancer awareness, and so today we want to focus on technology that brings you up to speed with issues on breast cancer. But who best to give us that information but the host of City Trends on 97.3 City FM, and of course head of production here at City TV, Philip Ashon.
Absolute pleasure.
Good
Always
morning,
a pleasure, Charlie. How are you?
I'm great. Nice. How are you?
It's been a pretty tough week, I have to confess. But yeah, it's coming together.
We've got life, we've got breath, so yeah,
that's what matters.
We give thanks.
That's what matters.
Awesome.
And I mean, on the topic today, it's exactly the same thing. You know, technology can do only so much. We've seen incredible technologies popping up like literally everywhere, all over the globe. I mean, we've had the pleasure of seeing all these device manufacturers come up with all sorts of technology. But sometimes some things just happen and there's nothing you can do about it. Nature takes its course and you really can't do much about it. There are some ways you can prevent it, as we've heard, you know, over the course of this month about preventing breast cancer,
early detection and all of that.
But sometimes it gets to that point where there's nothing else you can do about it. And like I said, a lot of them we have really are kind of restricted because it's not as if it can tap into your bloodstream or it can do a scan or a full scan of your body. It's kind of limited. And so in terms of the mobile applications, it usually ends up coming in at a point where either at the preventive stage or after you've been diagnosed, you know, and then it helps you to be able to deal with the issues. And so a lot of the apps, we have about 4 apps that we're going to be looking at today. And the apps basically give you a sense of what you should know, first of all, and then what happens when you have been diagnosed with breast cancer, and what happens after that, how you cope, how you deal with all of that. And so that's what we'll be looking at today.
Awesome.
But I just want to underline all of that and say that early detection is the best way.
That's the most important
so, I mean, if you're out there, please try as much as possible.
And then the self-test as well.
Get the self-testing done, get to the hospital, get the people doing it by yourself, just get to the hospital, let some health professionals assist you in doing it, because early detection is always the best policy. Now, the very first app we're going to look at today is called CareZone.
Okay.
Now, CareZone is available as both a website and then as a mobile application as well. Now, as you can see, that this is the website. This is what the website looks like. Manage your health without the headache. Basically helping you to a lot of things. Now, in my search, I really couldn't find a lot of local applications that help you to take care of some of these things. And so a lot of, actually all of the platforms I'll be looking at are from outside the country, but their functionality basically helps. And so some of them you would realize that it doesn't really apply to Ghana, but then some of the options that they offer do apply wherever you are globally. So this is one of them. CareZone is one of them. It's available, you know, on the Android Play Store, or the Apple App Store.
And this is a free app?
It's a free app, exactly. Okay. You can download it for free and just check it out. The one thing that I like is having a list of your medications in your pocket. So you know, sometimes you have to take some medicine at a particular time range, and it can get confusing, especially when there's a lot you need to take. So with this, what you can do is you can actually take a picture of the medicine, and then you can schedule it. So if there are like 6 bottles or 7 bottles, you can take a picture of the bottle, and then at the time you're supposed to take it, it's going to basically tell you this is what you're supposed to take.
Get
at
notification.
This time. Exactly. So even if you know the bottles all look the same, or you're confused of which one to take, at least the picture alone shows you that this is the one you're supposed to take. And I think it's pretty good, especially for people who are on medication, who are taking medication, you know, either to prevent or to manage the situation.
More like an electronic nurse.
Exactly. At least an electronic reminder for you. So as you can see there, it has a number of functionalities, even for pharmacies and things like that who want to go into e-commerce and things like this, a platform that you can do. Obviously, as you can see, they're saving money on your health insurance. It's not such a big thing in Ghana, but then of course outside the country, it is a big thing. So I mean, for me, one of the first things, CareZone, the one thing I do like about CareZone is the fact that you can actually take pictures of the medicines, and then it helps you to schedule the times when you're supposed to take the medicines. And I think that's one of the biggest selling points for this particular mobile app. The second one is Breast Advocate. The second app that I want to touch on is Breast Advocate. And this is what their website looks like. It's a very, very popular app. It does 3 main things. The knowledge center, it helps you to make decisions about what the next line of action should be. And then it also gives you a community within which you can have a conversation with about what exactly is going on. In the top left corner there, where the phone is what the interface looks like. So you can see what the interface looks like when you download the mobile app. So like I said, it's a knowledge center. That is, it offers a wide range of information having to do with breast cancer and everything else. So as you can see there, if you're struggling to have your voice, in the treatment decisions, because sometimes, you might feel that the health professionals who are looking after you are basically just throwing decisions at you. And sometimes you would want to also be a part of the decision making. And this app allows you to do that. You might not necessarily be speaking with a health professional as in face to face, but then it allows you to see what your options are. So you don't feel as if everything is being thrown at you and decisions are being made on your behalf. At least you can sort of take your time, look through the options. If there's a symptom here or there's a symptom there, and you think that, this applies to me much more than that, you can take your time, go through it, and then be able to assess exactly what is happening to you. And of course, as you'll be able to see some of the health professionals who have been roped into making it. So that's what the app looks like. Like I said, it offers you treatment options in case there's something going on and you're not really sure. So it offers you those treatment options. And of course, it gives you a community as well. If you're having some challenges, I mean, there's nothing better than having a community of people to discuss and share your problems with. So if you're having, someone might have gone through what you're going through, and it just helps. And of course, the website also has some other things that you can explore. So like I said, it's a knowledge center. It's a decision wizard. It helps you to make certain decisions based on what exactly is going on with you, and it offers you a community within which you can operate.
So this is also available on both iOS
and
Android.
On Android. So that one is, so it's called Breast Advocate. As you saw there on the screen, it's called Breast Advocate. The third one is My Cancer Coach. My Cancer Coach. Yes. My Cancer Coach is also just like the apps that we've seen. It also gives you something different, and I always say it's nice to have these options. Sometimes the aesthetics alone might put you off. So if one app looks much better than the other, then it makes it easier for you to kind of vibe with the app. Everybody has their own preferences. No judgment there. But this is also one of the apps that you can consider. It's called My Cancer Coach. As you can see there, you can personalize your cancer care decisions. Everything from the features that they offer to the community that it offers, the ability to pose certain questions, the ability to get feedback and things like that. I mean, this is a pretty good option as well if you are looking for some options, if you are dealing with the pressures of having to deal with breast cancer, this is a very good option as well. One of the things I like is the appointments bit, because typically if you're going to be receiving chemo and things like that, you will be regularly scheduled for appointments and things. You can schedule all your appointments here. It's automatically saved onto either your Google Calendar or your whichever platform that you're using. Also, you have a journal, where you can have the space to be able to, as you can see, it can help you and your loved ones to keep track of your medical and other appointments.
This is pretty much important, because I think before the chemo or the proper breast cancer treatment, you need to take some injections to protect your ovaries,
just to make sure that everything is safe. And what is also important is it groups in the family as well. So you can share a calendar with someone who can give you a constant reminder. This is one of my favorites about this particular app, because sometimes it's important to keep notes of what has been happening to you. Sometimes in the middle of the night something happens and you just need to note it down. And with this you can have a one spot where you can put all the information. If you come up to a doctor, any health professional, you can easily pull it up and then let them know, like, this is what's been going on with me. I just want you to know that, on a certain date, this is what I experienced.
And it helps in the treatment process.
Exactly. If there's progress or there's retrogression, at least the healthcare, they have a good sense of what is happening with their patients. And it basically makes you also feel much better about yourself, because then at least you know that you are either making progress or you're retrogressing, and then some decisions can be made for you. So that is the third one, my cancer coach. The final one is called Happify.
Okay.
The last one is called Happify. Now it's more of a general well-being app. It goes beyond just the treatment of cancer and cancer-related symptoms. What these are, it just basically overcoming negative thoughts, stress, and life's challenges. That's the main promise of the app and of the platform. Now, it can get very depressing when you are given breast cancer, or you are at this stage of it and things like that. It can get very depressing. But this app and apps like this basically help you, like it says, to break old patterns, form new habits, because it's a new phase of your life. It's a new experience.
I mean, it's not the end of the world, so you need to keep a good mental health.
But it's one thing to say that, and it's a completely different thing to live the experience. And I think that with apps like this, it gives you a sense of purpose, whereby you are offered different options, and then you can look through, pick, choose, form new habits, get something positive going on with you, because sometimes the negativity can have an effect and an impact on your well-being. And when you have something like this, it gives you some new options. What can I do? What's available out there, what books can I read, what kind of music, even sometimes the music and the music therapy and everything. So simple and effective solutions for your mental health and well-being, and that's the promise of the app. It offers quite a number of things, and we'll be seeing it as we go on with the conversation. So I mean, for me, this might not necessarily be a full-on cancer sort of app, or a breast cancer app in that sense. But what this does is it offers you an option. It offers you an option of being able to live beyond the sin. And as you can see that it fits into your life, whether on mobile, whether it's Android or iOS, or on your laptop. You have this platform to basically put in information, and then it's able to assess where exactly you are, what you're doing, and give you some suggestions about how to make your life much better. Because like you said, it's not the end of the world. But yes, it is one thing saying that it's not the end of the world. It's a completely different thing living with the condition. And if you have options like this, it might seem very simplistic. Do this today, do that today. It might seem very, very basic and straightforward, but some people do not have the heart to be able to do that. And with apps like this, at least it gives you some exercises you're able to do. As we saw on the screen, then we'll be going back to it in a bit. It actually offers you a more scientific way of measuring your well-being. And you can see that, the graphs are there for you based on the activities that it asks you to do. If you're able to complete them, you can easily put in the information, you complete them. It's able to give you a measurement of exactly how your well-being, or what sort of well-being you have at a particular moment. I mean, there's a science attached to it, and it's not just just emotions running all over the place. There's a science attached to it, and I think it's for people who are in that position. I think some of these options are really, really cool, because you need to overcome it. You need to find a way to overcome, you know, the very depressing thought of being a breast cancer patient. You know, and sometimes it's not what they say to you, but then how you yourself, you know, adjust your lifestyle to be able to come out of it. It's you know, like you said, I mean, you said it perfectly. It is not the end of the world, but you need to make and take certain steps to make your life much better.
Be able to deal with it. I like the fact that it's able to give you the opportunity to actually grade yourself, to score your level of happiness.
Exactly.
That's great.
And you see, sometimes some people in situations like this tend to provide false information. So like you go to the gym, for example, and then you're asked to work out, and then instead of 4 reps, you do 2 reps and things like that. Some people might enter wrong data, which is absolutely fine. But just remember that what you put in is what you get out. You know, if you're truthful with yourself and you put in the real information, it will be able to customize certain decisions for you, so that, because all it's trying to do is just help you, but it can help you only if you provide it with the right information.
So you got to be honest with yourself.
You have to be honest with yourself. If you're not honest with yourself, it's going to be very difficult for any of these apps to apply for you. You can't lie your way around it. I mean, you can meet a doctor or a health professional and lie to them, but then it's an app. It's like, who's going to judge you, you know? So just put in the information that you need to put in as truthful as possible, because it's a very difficult position to be in. And of course, one of the reasons why you probably go with an app is because you want to get away from all the judgments by people. And so if you have these apps, if you have these solutions, I think it's always best to put in as truthful information as possible, just to be able to get the best information out of it to help you deal with your situation, because nobody really understands your situation like you. You know, everybody's lived experience is very, very different. And if you're able to get through some of these things by the use of these apps, I think it just only helps. But remember, all these apps that I've talked about, from Care Zone to Breast Advocate to My Cancer Coach to Happify, they're just mobile applications. They just help facilitate something. A lot of the effort must come from the individual. If you don't apply yourself to it, it's just an app. It can't step out of the phone and push you to do anything. You know, it remains a mobile application. It will send you prompts, do this and do that. But then at the end of the day, you have to make that decision. And like I said in the beginning, at the base of all of this, you have to seek medical attention. You have to be very, very committed to seeking that medical attention, following through. If you're asked by your doctors to take certain medications, you have to take it, because your life at the end of the day is the most important thing. And if you don't follow the guidelines by the doctors, well, I'm sorry, it's not going to get any better. You know, and there have been so many testimonies of people who have gone through chemo, who have gone through all these medical processes, and it's made their life much better. It's not the same, but then it's made their life much better. So I think for me, aside all the apps, which I believe are just enablers, I think at the base of it, it is seeking that medical attention, making sure you get the medical attention that you need just to be able to manage the situation you find yourself in.
I think it's important, and if you're on that level with your doctors, you can actually talk to them and find out some more information you can key into the app to help you through the process. And then also you can find out what kind of information the doctors would need to help the treatment process, so you can key into the app, get the right responses, get the prompts on time, and then you make some progress with respect to the treatment.
And especially with things like the medications that you're supposed to be taking, you know, it can get overwhelming. You know, where every 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever you're supposed to be taking, it can get a little overwhelming. You know, you sometimes just want to chill, relax, forget that, you know, you are even in a situation like that. And some of these apps, like I said, they're just enablers. They're just supposed to enable you live a better life or help you to make some of the best decisions possible. You can't hide the information that your doctor is giving you from, you know, the app. If you have medicine, you have to enter it so that the schedule can be created, so that it will help you take your medicine at the right time. And, you know, and so it's, you know, they work hand in hand.
Okay.
You know, they work hand in hand.
Does it make room for the dosage as well?
Yes. So, like with what you call it, with Care Zone, where you can take the picture, it gives you the options. So you have the options as to the dosage you're supposed to take. And besides, everything is in the picture as well. That's why for me, I really like it, because look, people have lots of medicines they need to take. You know, and so sometimes it can get a bit overwhelming. But when you know, this is the picture. If the medicine is blue, it's blue. If it's green, it's green. You know, and so you know which one to take at what time and what dosage comes with it. So it's been incorporated in the mobile applications. Once again, underline the fact that there is nothing better than seeking medical attention. All these mobile apps that we're talking about, they just enable something. They just help to make the process easier. But you need to seek medical attention. You need to get yourself screened. You need to make sure that the breast examination happens, just so you know what your status is. If you can't do the self-breast examination every month, please make sure that at least you get some medical attention to be able to do that. It's just popping into, you know, the hospital or the clinic, getting assistance. It's literally like a 10-minute thing and you're out of there. And it just saves you so much more of the rest of your life. You know, early detection, they always say, is the best policy. So if you can, I think I'll advocate that you do seek that medical attention as soon as possible. Anything you notice, just make sure that you seek the medical attention.
I think it's beautiful that, is it the care zone that affords you the opportunity to create sort of a journal?
Exactly.
So it's something like a folder at the hospital.
It's actually
this is not really the cancer coach.
My cancer coach journal.
So it's something like your folder at the hospital, but this is not exactly that of the hospital, the medical or the expert
It's just your personal experiences every day.
Exactly. So you're able to key it in. So if something happens to you, as and when it does, you're able to key it in. So on the day of appointment with your doctor, you're able to tell them exactly what
has been happening.
Exactly.
Because sometimes a lot of things are happening in your life and you might forget. But then if you have the journal, you can easily reference it and then you're good to go. And one thing also that I just want to point out is, especially to the husbands and the boyfriends, a lot of the health professionals who have come through here, who we've heard on radio, have talked about the fact that a lot of the detection is actually done by your partners, as in the female's partner. So husbands and boyfriends. It's very, very important for you to be a part of the process. If anything happens to your partner, care of her. So I think that it's also a very important lesson, I think, for a lot of people. Yes, it's an app that they might be entering their details in, but in occasion you can share the information. You know, you can ask what's going on, you know. And if a lot of the breast cancer cases are being detected by partners of the women, it kind of tells you that, you know, men have a role to play in all of this. And you might not be the one to download the app. You might not be the one to necessarily go and see the doctor, but you can be a part of the process, asking questions, you know, just supporting. Even if it's just asking a question or just sitting around and listening, just be a part of the support, you know, mechanism around your partner who probably is going through some of these difficult times.
These are health apps. So how important is it to read the terms and conditions before you subscribe to them?
I mean, it goes without saying. It's not just because it's a health app. Any app that you download, you have to be aware of what permissions you know it's getting. I mean, with all the updates that we've seen from most of these operating system manufacturers and people, we've seen a lot of changes where every app, you know, you get a breakdown of all the permissions it's going to take. And it's only fair that you read the terms and conditions, know what information you're going to be entering, where the information is going to be stored, how it's going to be stored. We've talked about this on the show a couple of times, but like I said, they are just enablers. But even as enablers, you need to be able to, for yourself, be satisfied with where's my information going, who is going to access it, how is it going to help me. If it wants access to a spotlight or you know, something that you don't think works for you, you can easily disable that. If it wants access to a microphone and you don't think a microphone should be enabled, you can easily disable that, and you should be good to go. So it's absolutely critical. If you're not comfortable with how the app looks, how the app works, you can easily sign out, close your account, and you're good to go.
All right, thank you very much. Philip Ashon is host of City Trends on 97.3 City FM and head of production here at City TV, bringing us some information and some applications that can help make your life more comfortable when it comes to breast cancer. This is still the Breakfast Daily on City TV. Let's go for some entertainment highlights.
Welcome to Entertainment Highlights on Breakfast Daily. My name is Akua. In a video cited by GhanaWicked.com on October 26th, Tema East MP Nikwate Titus Glover treated his constituents to a performance of Shatta Wale's Obodobede. The Tema East MP was keeping the crowd hyped at an event in Tema to mark the sword cutting on the upgrade of the Tema sewage system. This is not the first time the Deputy Minister of Transport has been seen showing his SM credentials. Earlier this year, he was caught jamming to Shatta Wale's hit song My Level at another event. Titus Glover seems to be a big fan of Shatta Wale, as in August 2020 he called on Shatta Wale and his rival Stonebwoy to plan and execute a joint concert. He explained, as two of the biggest names in Ghana music, a show of unity would be good for the music industry. Titus Glover, who has been Tema East MP since 2012, is seeking his third term in office at the December polls. He will be hoping to beat NDC's Isaiah Adamating. Gospel musician Joe Mettle has advised the youth to refrain from violent activities before, during, and after the 2020 general elections. Speaking on Hits FM, he explained that the citizens will have nowhere to call home if Ghana is destroyed because of an individual's political ambition. His comment comes after some members of two political parties, the NPP and the NDC, clashed on Sunday, October 25th. In a number of video clips widely shared on social media platforms, the supporters of the two Mettles and hurling stones and insults at each other. Joe Mettle intimated that he was surprised to see young people go after each other as they did. The violence, he explained, starts small and escalates. Therefore, we should ignore some of them. Ghana is ours. If we destroy it, we'll have nowhere else to go. Veteran dancehall artist Beenie Man fainted at his mother's funeral in St. Elizabeth on Sunday, October 25th. The all-white farewell event for the entertainer's mother seemed too much for the artist to bear, as he appeared visibly distraught at the graveside and was later unable to stand on his own. While being assisted at the graveside, Beenie Man, unable to cope, collapsed and was lifted and ushered away from the site by Fness. Dramatic exit sent the already distressed mourners into further panic, with many screaming and wailing at the event. And that's all for Entertainment Highlights on Breakfast Daily. My name is Akua.
Have you wondered why people patronize for Franco Trading Enterprise? Follow me, I'll show you why. So this is the reason why people patronize from us. It's because we have quality and affordable mobile phones and accessories. Talk of Alcatel, iPhone, Samsung, and among others. We also have quality laptops and affordable television of all sizes. Our latest baby on the block is the Franco TV 65-inch smart TV. It's just gonna blow your mind. The picture quality is superb. Our shops are open for both wholesalers and retailers. You can also walk into any of our shops nationwide to window shop. But remember to always put on your face mask. Franco Trading Enterprise, indeed the home of quality mobile phones, televisions, and accessories.
Since 2017, a new dawn is breaking in Ghana. The NPP is building the foundations for growth and transformation. We are curbing unemployment with new and decent jobs.
Thanks to Nana, I've got a new job through NAPCO. That is why I'm voting for him as the MPP.
The promise of free SHS is now a reality.
Through education, I have a brighter future. That's why I'm voting for Nana and the NPP.
The future of our country is in the hands of a competent leader, a man you can trust.
I trust Nana.
This December, let's protect our progress. Let's give Nana 4 more to do more for you.
2020, 2024 more for Nana. 2020, 2020, yeah, to Nana.
Welcome back. This is still Breakfast Daily, and it's now time for Hello, Mr. President, segment on the show that focuses solely on issues you are experiencing within your community. If you have any issues at all, bad roads, terrible hospitals, your kids are not able to go to school, just take out your phone and send an up to 1 minute video to us. The email to send that message to is hellomrpresidenttv@gmail.com. You can also WhatsApp it to us via our WhatsApp line 0550585832. If you don't have a camera phone, don't worry, you can still text us exactly what you are experiencing via that email and the WhatsApp line, and every Wednesday at 9:30 we'll call onto those policymakers to ask them exactly why they've not done right by you. Now, if you're watching and you have any comments or questions about the issues we'll be looking at today, let us know with the hashtag Breakfast Daily, and the WhatsApp line is 0550585832. We'll take a look at the first message we received. And as we are waiting for that, a viewer from Kaswa who sent in a text that reads, "Hello, Mr. President. I guess 250 words is too much to express what bothers me in Ghana. Thank God for the peace and tranquility, but I think God is not happy with us. The stench engulfing the people in Kaswa as a result of indiscriminate activities of market women who sell by the roadside, and states like markets are too close to the roadside. After a long day's work, I come to meet a huge load of traffic just between Ametam and Kaswa because cars cannot navigate at their own pace. I won't talk about the campaign posters, church crusades, and fetish house advertisements on post-no-bail spaces. Lest I forget the deplorable nature of an international road from Malam to Kaswa, specifically toll booth and barrier that gets flooded even when it drizzles. I know myself and other citizens are to blame. You've done well so far, but for law and order in sanitation and management of major roads and cities, you and your predecessors have performed poorly." So this viewer is talking to us about sanitation issues, specifically as it pertains to Kaswa, and walking us through the experiences that I'm sure every single one of us as Ghanaians have gone through, looking at the filth, walking through communities and smelling such offensive things very early in the morning, same places that your children are supposed to walk through to get to school. And he's asking us to do right. So this is not only a call to our leaders, it's a call to all of us as citizens. Don't dump refuge anywhere. Don't just ease yourself wherever you see fit, because we are all contributing to polluting the environment. And the environment is all we have. If we destroy Ghana, we don't have any other country to go to. So he's pleading with us to please tone down on the way we treat the environment. Again, if you have any issues or problems in your community and you want us to know, just take out your phone and record an up to 1 minute video. Send that video to us via the WhatsApp line 0550585832. And our email is hellomrpresidenttv@gmail.com. We received another video from Tatale, so we'll take a look at that video.
Hello, Mr. President. We are speaking from Tatale. This is Tatale Township. You look at the nature of our road, very, very porous, very bad. We are calling on you to come to our aid to work on this particular road for us. Please, Mr. President, our road is very bad. Mr. President, please come to our aid. Look at this particular road. It's a major road leading to Togo, from Tatali to Yendi to the border. Please, Mr. President, the people of Tatali have been neglected for a long time, and then we are pleading that you come to our aid to work on our road. As you can see, we cannot move. A car cannot move. The road is very bad in a way that is giving the people a lot of problems, slowing down our businesses. Mr. President, we beg you, just come and work on our road for us. Thank you.
We can't stretch this point enough, but fixing our roads is an integral part of our development. A lot of Ghanaians rely on their roads to do their daily activities. So whether they need to go to the market, their children have to go to school, they need to go to work. If the car you are in breaks down, sometimes it takes up to 30, 40 minutes for another car to stop, and they don't owe you helping you get to the next destination. So imagine a community that is so close to Togo could potentially benefit from sending things from Ghana to Togo to make a profit, and the nature of the road they have to drive on every single day has not been prioritized. And the irony in all of this is that almost 1 year ago, the finance minister told us that this year was supposed to be the year of roads. And by year of roads, we don't mean we should see changes in places like Accra and Kumasi, but in communities that need the changes the most, like Tatale, where people really need these road infrastructures to happen, so that they can finally rise out of poverty and achieve their dreams within this country. Thankfully, we have the DCE on the line with us. We'll be talking to him shortly. Mr. Thomas, he's on the line. He will walk us through exactly what the people of Tatale have been going through and really help us appreciate what's happening. We're going to get the DCE, but the residents is on the line. So good morning, Matthias. Matthias, are you there? Okay, so as we're, yes, how are you?
I'm there, please.
Thank you so much for being with us, Matthias. You are live on Breakfast Daily on City TV. You sent us your video. Please tell us what's going on in your community.
In fact, as you can see on the video, totally different, and then the constituency as a whole has been described in terms of development, and the major problem is our roads. The first government has come, current government has come to promise the people of Katale for the road, but yet there is nothing, not even drifting, and the road is not even most travel. You come during the rainy season, there was a lot of water on the way, people cannot move, so it really slow down the business. And this is a major stress, made it from Yendi up to the border to Togo. And it's a major business center in Katale. Because of the road, people cannot go to market with their farm food in order. So the Katale people are really suffering.
How long has this problem been with the community?
I would say since independence. But at least for the past government, at least once in a while, they do some grading. But for the past 4 years, we haven't seen grading. We've not seen anything. No. So when we asked DC about it, what he said was that this year is year of road. But yet, we are not seeing any work being done on the road.
Matthias, are you there?
I'm there.
Please walk us through what children go through walking through this road. How are women able to get to the market? What are the kind of things they tell you about the impact this road has on their lives?
In fact, they can't like the car, even if you want to stop, you can't do, or you can't go, because the car is not to move when the road is bad like that. And then also, the Okada people, they can also operate.
Wow.
Because the road is very bad. If you use your machine on it once, twice, you see that the road will spoil your machine or break your vehicle or whatever down. And there is this major, like I would say, agric-based community. People farm a lot of yam, maize, and all that. So they can't convey their produce to the market center in order to sell them.
So have you heard any of your leaders say they'll do something about it? Because as you are talking to me...
Even the chiefs have written to the government on several occasions, but they are not doing that.
But do they understand?
Recently, even the vice president was here, and he didn't even talk about the route. What he talked about was railway, which was ridiculous anyway.
So the nation is watching you, they are listening to you, they are seeing what you are going through. What would you like to tell your leaders about this road and the impact it has on your lives? Matthias, are you there?
I'm there. The only thing we need is the road to be worked on. At least if they can't tie the entire road, the township should be tied. Because the gas, people inhale gas every day in the market, and at least it has complicated issues.
Okay, thank you very much for being with us. And we really hope that your leaders will do something about this, because it's sad that in this day and age, a community that produces yams, produces maize, can really just rise out of poverty and take care of themselves, are not able to do so because of the nature of their roads. Someone else who's a farmer in another town that has great roads will probably get to the market very early, finish selling their products, and be able to take care of their families. But if you find yourself in Tatale, this is what you have to deal with. We're trying to get a DC on the line. The minute he's on the line, we'll ask him exactly what has been done, if this road is a priority for government, especially now that we've termed 2020 year of roads, and we have just a little over 2 months to go before the year is over. Again, if you're experiencing any problems in your community and you want the entire nation and the world to know what you're going through, just take out your phone and record an up to 1 minute video. Send that video to us via the WhatsApp line 0550-585832 or our email hellomrpresidenttv@gmail.com. And every Wednesday at 9:30 we'll show it right here on CCTV for the entire world to see, and also ask your policymakers some really important questions about why they've not done right by you. We'll take a look at the next video that we received.
Mr. President, my name is Namparo Ishmael. I'm calling from Tatale Songole district in the northern part of Ghana. Mr. President, the major road that links a farming community called Umbalodo or Koyili to the district capital of Zabzugu has been cut off. Therefore, business activities are collapsing in the area. JSS2 are also finding it very difficult in order to cross for their education. Those who are not also well, again, finding it very difficult to have access for their treatment. Mr. President, please, we need your help.
So for this particular community, whenever it rains, it actually floods, and it's a farming community. So not only are they losing their crops, children can't even go to school because it means they have to swim, literally. And we have videos that will be showing you as we go on for you to see the kind of places they have to go through. It's so high that you would need a canoe to get from one to the other. Women who have to go to the market to sell are not able to go because the entire place is flooded. And it's not water that you can walk through to get to the next town. It's literally water that you will need a canoe to sit on top to get to the next place. Everybody's life has to be on a standstill because it has rained and the whole place has flooded. For a farming community, that means there's no income coming in because the rains, they've washed away your crops. You can't go to the market because you need to swim to get to the next town. Children can't go to school. Ishmael, the viewer who sent the video in, is on the line with us. Good morning, Ishmael. Hi, Ishmael. How are you?
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being with us and sending us that video. Can you please help us understand your community a little bit before we even get to the problem that you sent us?
Please come again.
Your community. Tell us about your town.
Oh, all right. Well, the community is under Tatale district, Tatale Songole district. But if you look at the community, it's so close to Zabzugu. That is the district capital town of Zabzugu district. So a lot of activities are happening at Zabzugu district, not Tatale district.
Okay.
So their major route and major market that they spend is Zabzugu market. So currently, because of the route or because of the water that has been cut off of the route, majority of people can cross currently. So because of that, a lot of people can't go to their business activities. And we also have children, SS2, GSS2, every day out there in the work from the community to Zabzugu for their education. And then currently they can't cross. And even the cross, they have to get somebody so that the person will lead them to cross. So currently a lot of things are happening, but it is not going well for the community.
How do you feel when you see children not being able to go to school because of the water? And my producers will get the visuals for you viewers so you can really appreciate it.
For almost 7 months because of coronavirus. Now that the school has opened for them to go back to classes, especially GSS2 and SS2, yet they're still in the house. Most majority of them are still locked up in the house. And business activities too, things are costly because ladies can't cross to Zabzugu for market. So we are feeling bad for the people.
Have you heard from your decision makers, leaders of the community at all? Do they know the extent to this problem?
The community?
Yes, the leaders of the community. What are they saying about this problem?
Yes, this thing, we wrote some letters, presented it to district chief executives and also the honorable MP. And for now, we have not heard anything from them. And the leaders in the community are also trying their best to see how best they can solve it out. So last week, majority of them came out, gathered some kind of stones, put it in the pot or put it in the end of it to see if the children can use that place to cross. So currently, that's what the community members are doing now.
Wow. How do the women feel about this? Because I can imagine if there's a maize cellar, the nature of that water is not something you can even carry anything on your head to cross. How are they able to survive when it gets to that point?
Let's come again.
The market women, how are they able to get to the market when this happens?
Okay. For now, before the ladies will cross, they have to get one man so that the person can lead them to the side. Or they have to go in groups so that they can help each other in order to cross. But if it is one, the person can't cross herself. She has to go with the other people. So because of that, a lot of things are happening as I'm saying. They have to wait for each other so that all of them will be ready so that they move together. So when they come to the stream, they will be able to cross together. For you going personally alone there, you can't cross. So currently, that's what they are doing.
How difficult does this make life? And we're still going to show that video so you can see the water we are talking about. But for the people in your community, how difficult does this make life for you? having to literally swim through this water to go about your daily activities?
So that is that.
Yes, for you, how difficult is it to go through this water to do basic things like going to school, going to the market? How does that make life difficult?
How does it make it difficult?
Yes.
Yes. In the sense that for parents, sometimes they have to leave their work, make sure that some they would rather go to farm, although we are farming communities there. People over there are all farm. So they have to get some people, they cost the children to come up for the go back.
Okay.
So if you look at it, taking care of the children have to cross before the person will come back and go to farm. It actually delays activities. Let me say the product activity, the farming activities and other things. Because when the person goes, before we proceed to farm, it will be too late.
Yeah.
And the children too, when they are they are thinking about how to cross back when they close. So sometimes they have to ask the children, the teachers, to release them before the time. So all of this make it very difficult for them to even learn.
Wow.
In the sense that when they are in the house too, they are still thinking how they will cross the next day.
Yeah.
So they are learning activities and they are learning what do you call it? Understanding of all of these things are making them very difficult. Very difficult because their minds are always on how to cross.
Yeah.
And the lady, to as I was saying, really, a few of them who will be able to cross will get some kind of food items, and when they come to the community, they make it like they will be selling it. But because others can't cross, they sell it at a high price, so that those who cannot cross can have access to it. But the Bible is a high price.
Yeah.
So all of this, I'm telling you, my sister, is bringing a lot of community and people in the community there.
Thank you very much for sharing your story with us, Ishmael. We apologize that we couldn't show you guys the video so you can really appreciate what he's talking about. Next week, we will show you exactly what we've talked about so that you can see how high the water is and how impossible it will be for children and women to get to school and get to the market on that water, and the psychological toll it will have on them, having to think about it every day, that tomorrow morning I have to deal with this water again. And hopefully we'll get a hand of the DCE as well and ask him when they are going to solve this problem. Again, this is Hello, Mr. President segment of Breakfast Daily. It's a segment that focuses solely on issues that you are experiencing within your community. So whatever problems that you have that policymakers are sleeping on, this is your opportunity to just take out your phone and record an up to 1 minute video for the entire world to see what you're experiencing. Send those videos to us via the email hellomrpresidenttv@gmail.com, and our WhatsApp line is 0550585832. We'll be right back.
Telling Ghana's business stories, City TV brings you a dedicated business news bulletin that showcases the business temperature of the country in one go. The business dashboard, the markets, industry, and policies that affect the way we do business. All covered in one bulletin. The business dashboard, 7 p.m. every weeknight on City TV.
Well, hello again. We'd like to remind you that Voters Diary will be on City 97 1 p.m. every weekday. We bring you all the information you need to know, all the details you need to have to help you make that decision come December 7. It will also be live on City TV at 3 p.m. With Vivian Kai, local, as the host. And she'll have all the panelists, well-informed panelists, to educate us or inform us on the various electoral details, the various voting patterns that will help you make that decision come December 7.
Yes, I still, I don't know who I'm gonna, still examining the policies, but if you miss any segment of the show, our YouTube page is CityTube. You can go on there, comment. Not to force always answering questions in the comment box. Go on there, comment, like, share with your family and friends, and do not forget to subscribe so that everyone would you'll be updated on everything that we're doing.
Yeah, it's always amazing coming your way with a Breakfast Daily on City TV.
Yes.
And today is our Radio Princess's birthday.
Princess one.
AJ Akua support. We want to say we love you so much and we wish you a happiest birthday ever.
Yes, and we hope that you're treating us for lunch because we didn't bring any lunch. Enjoy your day, guys.
All right, take care. We'll see you again tomorrow.